Prepare to be immersed in a bone-chilling journey through the dark and harrowing world of terrifying human experiments. Throughout history, mankind's thirst for knowledge and power has led to unimaginable horrors inflicted upon innocent victims in the name of science and progress. In this shocking exploration, we unveil 30 spine-chilling facts about some of the most notorious human experiments ever conducted. From unethical medical trials to sadistic psychological studies, the truth behind these atrocities will send shivers down your spine. Fact 1. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Delve into the sinister Tuskegee syphilis experiment, where African-American men were deceived into believing they were receiving free healthcare, while in reality, they were left untreated for syphilis to study the disease's progression. Fact 2. Unit 731, the Japanese biological warfare research. Explore the horrors of Unit 731, a covert Japanese military unit responsible for conducting cruel biological and chemical experiments on thousands of innocent Chinese and Korean civilians during World War II. Fact 3. Nazi medical experiments. Unveil the atrocities committed by Nazi doctors during the Holocaust, including barbaric experiments on concentration camp prisoners, such as freezing, sterilization, and excruciating medical tests. Fact 4. The Stanford Prison Experiment. Analyze the psychological impact of the Stanford Prison Experiment, where college students were assigned roles as prisoners and guards, resulting in shocking displays of sadism and submission. Fact 5. Project MKUltra. Uncovered the covert CIA project known as MKUltra, which involved administering mind-altering drugs and conducting psychological experiments on unwitting subjects to achieve mind control. Fact 6. The Milgram Experiment. Explore the ethical dilemmas of the Milgram Experiment, where participants were encouraged to administer electric shocks to others, revealing the disturbing extent of obedience to authority. Fact 7. The Aversion Project in South Africa. Learn about South Africa's Aversion Project, where gay and lesbian soldiers were subjected to forced sex change operations and chemical castration to cure their sexuality. Fact 8. The Monster Study. Unravel the heartbreaking tale of the Monster Study, where orphan children were subjected to psychological abuse and labeled as stutterers to study the effects of negative reinforcement. Fact 9. The Little Albert Experiment. Discover the controversial Little Albert Experiment, where a young child was conditioned to fear white, furry objects, raising ethical questions about using fear as a research tool. Fact 10. The Soviet Sleep Deprivation Experiment. Delve into the nightmarish Soviet sleep deprivation experiment, where political prisoners were kept awake for prolonged periods, leading to severe psychological and physical deterioration. Fact 11. The Poison Laboratory of Dr. Hart. Uncover the shocking revelations of Dr. Hart's Poison Laboratory, where he conducted lethal experiments on concentration camp prisoners to test the efficacy of poisons. Fact 12. The Aversion Project in Namibia. Learn about Namibia's Aversion Project, where the apartheid regime forcibly sterilized women from marginalized communities to control their population. Fact 13. The Bayer heroin experiments. Examine the disturbing history of Bayer's heroin experiments in the early 1900s, where children suffering from morphine addiction were used as test subjects. Fact 14. The Holocaust Twin Experiments. Unearth the heinous twin experiments conducted by Joseph Mengele during the Holocaust, involving the torture and death of countless children in the pursuit of genetic research. Fact 15. The Marsh Test. Discover the deadly Marsh Test, where Victorian scientists used arsenic-poisoned food to study the effects of toxins on the human body. Fact 16. The Nazi Freezing Experiments. Delve into the Nazi freezing experiments, where prisoners were subjected to extreme cold conditions to investigate the best methods of reviving hypothermia victims. Fact 17. The Harvard Dog Experiments. Learn about the cruel experiments conducted by a Harvard scientist in the 20th century involving the removal of dogs' organs to study the impact on their survival. Fact 18. The Isolation Studies. Explore the psychological effects of isolation studies, where individuals were placed in solitary confinement for extended periods, resulting in severe mental deterioration. Fact 19. The deadly radium experiments uncover the tragic consequences of the radium experiments, where unsuspecting workers were exposed to lethal doses of radioactive material in industrial settings. Fact 20. The Weipholm dental experiments examine the disturbing Weipholm dental experiments, where mentally disabled children were used as subjects to study the effects of excessive sugar consumption on dental health. Fact 21. The Russian sleep experiment discovered the chilling tale of the Russian sleep experiment, a fictional but widely circulated horror story about a nightmarish sleep deprivation experiment gone wrong. Fact 22. The Willowbrook State School hepatitis study examined the controversial hepatitis study conducted at Willowbrook State School, where mentally disabled children were intentionally infected with the disease without their consent. Fact 23. The cold water immersion test. Learn about the cold water immersion test, where victims were submerged in icy water to study the effects of hypothermia on the human body. Fact 24. The malaria experiments unraveled the shocking malaria experiments conducted on prisoners during World War II, where they were infected with the disease to test experimental treatments. Fact 25. The Dachau hypothermia experiments examined the inhumane hypothermia experiments at Dachau concentration camp, where prisoners were subjected to freezing conditions to assess survival rates. Fact 26. The gas mask test. Discover the horrifying gas mask test, where conscientious objectors were exposed to lethal gases without protection to evaluate the mask's efficacy. Fact 27. The tea room trade study examined the unethical tea room trade study, where researcher Lord Humphrey secretly observed and recorded men engaged in homosexual acts without their knowledge or consent. Fact 28. The American eugenics movement. Learn about the dark history of the American eugenics movement, where individuals were forcibly sterilized in the pursuit of creating a superior human race. Fact 29. The carcinogen experiments. Explore the carcinogen experiments, where workers were exposed to cancer-causing substances without their knowledge or protective measures to study the effects on their health. Fact 30. The acid tests. Uncover the shocking acid test, where volunteers were given LSD without their consent to study the effects of the psychedelic drug on the human mind. As we conclude our exploration of terrifying human experiments, we are reminded of the dark chapters of human history that must never be forgotten. These shocking and inhumane trials serve as a solemn reminder of the importance of ethical research practices and the protection of human rights. Let us learn from the past and ensure that the pursuit of knowledge never justifies the sacrifice of human dignity and well-being. Through awareness and vigilance, we can strive to prevent such horrors from ever being repeated, honoring the memory of those who endured these unimaginable atrocities